Welcome back for another edition of Planetary Allegory and Forms of Planetary Divination. Today's video, Revenge of the Firstborn. Before we begin, I'm going to make another public service announcement due to ongoing phone calls still, and interesting addresses popping up on my credit report. So, for the record, once again, I have never been married. I have zero association with anyone I'm related to. Some I have not spoken to in excess of 15 years. So why they're popping up on my credit report, I'm not sure. I've reported this for fraud. I do not live in Hazleton, PA. I do not live in Wilkes-Barre, PA. And I definitely, most certainly, do not live in Hanover Township, PA. So I don't know why these addresses are popping up as recently active and I was receiving mail there. But I contacted the Inspector General and made a formal report through the post office to speak to the post office's form of their own internal affairs, I guess, their own internal investigator, because I'm getting tired of my mail getting rerouted and transferred to other addresses that I have no association with. So now I'm going to let the proper authorities deal with this shit because I'm done with it. Now, nobody has ever had permission or authority to speak on my behalf, nor has there ever been anybody or someone other than myself legally or authorized to represent me or act as a power of attorney. The court has never deemed me as unstable, nor has anybody ever been appointed to act on my behalf, nor would I ever allow anyone to act on my behalf or manage anything on my behalf whatsoever. Any documents, testimonies, or policies, or executive actors and or principals acting or that say otherwise are committing fraud, were forged, or just downright fraudulently obtained. These were definitely obtained through criminal deception just to clear the air. And again, this is all due to recent phone calls that I'm still getting and things I'm still seeing on my credit reports. And I do not have a real estate loan. So why one just popped up on my credit report, I don't know. But whoever is having fun with identity theft, I did report it to the FBI. I did report it to the Federal Trade Commission. And with this recent report with the Inspector General through the Postmaster Inspector, I will fully be pressing charges and filing litigation because I'm not playing with this stuff, and whoever is living their best life under my name, this shit is going to end. So you can either stop and start negotiating, or I'm going to see you in court because at some point they're going to catch on. So run your little games, whatever. I'm done with the nonsense. I've got all the documents to support that I'm not at any of these addresses. I filed the proper complaints. I visited the proper channels. So you guys are done with this. Now in for my entry prayer. The stars decree, the covenant demands. In whispers we govern, through the elements we obscure. In static we command. In nightmares we pursue. We are earth and air, we are fire and water. We are the remembered, we are the returned, we are the whispers. In silence we thrive. Today's allegory is going to start with the Sky King's change, with Uranus sextile and a sensitive degree, Neptune in the 9th house. The Sky King's change creates a symbolic narrative of a revolutionary idea and spiritual insights that challenge and seek to break free from old, repressive, philosophical or religious structures. The Sky King, as Uranus, in Greek mythology, Uranus was the sky god who imprisoned his children. In modern astrology, Uranus is the Great Awakener, representing liberation, rebellion, and sudden shocking change. The Sky King is the part of the psyche that clings to the established, sometimes tyrannical belief systems and intellectual dogma. The chains here are represented by Neptune. Now, Neptune governing spirituality, dreams, and idealism, also representing illusion, deception, and escapism. When we connect these to the sensitive degree, Neptune's influence becomes particularly pronounced and emotionally impactful. In the 9th house, Neptune deals in personal philosophy, religion, and the search for a higher truth. Now, the chains here represent the spiritual or philosophical illusions and restrictive dogmas that we create and accept as our own reality rather than operating in a non-linear probabilistic reality. We operate in a linear, definitive, labeled, what it is what it is. There's no, well, maybe in a quantum entanglement aspect. Now, these are the self-imposed limitations that Uranus's mystical chains prevent authentic growth and exploration. The sextile here as the awakening, sextile being a harmonious and supportive aspect in astrology representing opportunity for creative integration. Now, in this context, it signifies a moment when the revolutionary mind, expanding forces of Uranus, is in a favorable position to interact with Neptune's deep spiritual insights. The connection creates a chance to recognize and break free from the illusionary chains of limiting beliefs, and this effect can feel kind of like a software update, if you will, where new perspectives on faith and truth become available. The result is an opportunity to expand consciousness by dismantling old ways of thinking and embracing a more authentic spiritual path. The symbolic title suggests a powerful moment of personal and philosophical upheaval. Now, the initial conflict here is going to be your sky kings being ego's fixed worldview. Holds spiritual aspirations and higher truths in chains, if you will, which is limiting religious or philosophical dogma. The revolution here, being the harmonious, electrifying energy of Uranus, provides a flash of insight that illuminates the prison of your mind's making. The outcome, you're receiving an opportunity to dismantle the false security of your previous beliefs, allowing a more profound and authentic spiritual journey to begin. This can manifest as questioning old religious systems, having a mystical experience that kind of reorients your collective spiritual movement, or the slow dismantling of a radical organization hell-bent on destruction of a foundation upon which the very fabric of a nation resides. In the next aspect, I have the scimitar of Cronus. Now, with Uranus trine in a sensitive degree, Pluto in the 10th house, the scimitar of Cronus symbolically describes a sudden, profound, and easy opportunity to transform one's public identity and legacy by overthrowing the outdated, powerful structures that define one's career and reputation. Now, the breakdown here is the scimitar. In Greek myth, Cronus used the scimitar to castrate and overthrow his father, Uranus, the king of the gods. The scimitar here represents the weapon of transformation, not one of brute force, but of cunning and precision. It's more like intellect and strategy versus blunt physical force and numbers. It signifies the tool used to cut away old, repressive authority. Now, Cronus is the young, ambitious Titan here who overthrows his tyrannical father. He represents the new order, challenging the old, radical force that changes the status quo. Now, Uranus here being the planet of revolution, rebellion, and radical change. In mythology, Uranus is the sky god representing the established authoritarian order that is being replaced. In the astrological context, the Uranus energy is the shocking, liberating idea or insight that enables this overthrow. Coming in with Pluto, the planet of death, transformation, and rebirth, Pluto's power is a deep, subterranean, and total energy. When Pluto is involved with a sensitive degree, its transformative energy is particularly potent. With the trine here, this is a harmonious aspect that represents easy flow and opportunity. It indicates that the revolutionary change being Uranus and the deep transformative power being Pluto are working together effortlessly. It's like a river flowing. Like, you can't stop water. It always finds a way, no matter what. There's only obstacles, but never a halt. Now, the overthrow of the old order is a natural evolution, and that's going to be the key word here, rather than a cataclysmic struggle. In the 10th house specifically, the house of career, public reputation, and worldly ambitions, this is going to be the stage upon which the mythological drama is enacted. The change affects one's standing in the world and what one is known for. Combining these elements, the scimitar of Cronus paints a vivid picture of a profound shift. Like a power dynamic, but shifting 180 entirely. Now, the opportunity is going to be a harmonious trine, is going to provide a unique, smooth path for change. Unlike the challenging aspects that led before, that's always required intense conflict. The wielding of the power, the scimitar of Cronus is going to be decisive, powerful move that you make to upend your public identity or career path. It could be a brilliant innovation through Uranus that renders the old way of doing things obsolete and a profound reinvention of your professional self being Pluto, or a shift in the power dynamic of your field entirely. Now, the outcome being the old established authority, whether represented by a person, a system, or your own outdated professional approach, is overthrown with surprising ease. This paves the way for a powerful new phase of your career or public life, defined by authenticity and revolutionary change. In the next aspect, I have the dawn of the Elder Ones, awakening the Ancient Ones. With Neptune sextile in a sensitive degree, Pluto in the 10th house. One must combine the meanings of the individual astrological components into a single narrative here. Now, this symbolic reading suggests a potent yet subtle process of spiritual transformation and the emergence of a profound collective consciousness that reshapes one's career and public legacy entirely. The components here, Neptune, again, the planet of dreams, spirituality, intuition, and idealism, represents the dissolution of the boundaries and the connections to the collective unconscious. Neptune can bring both profound spiritual experiences and confusing delusions. With Pluto, again, the planet of death, transformation, power, and rebirth, this is going to represent deep unconscious and powerful forces that bring about a profound, irreversible change. It's kind of like getting past the threshold of oops. Now, in the 10th house, Pluto deals with one's public standing, career, and legacy. With the sextile here, this harmonious aspect flowing into astrology suggests an opportunity for positive integration between the planets involved. It indicates that the spiritual dissolution of Neptune and the transformative power of Pluto can work together effortlessly. With the sensitive degree, a specific potent point in the zodiac, such as 0 degree, 13th degree, or 29th degree, or in some, natural 33rd or up degree, that is a particularly charged and can intensify the themes associated with the planet on it. In the 10th house, the house of careers, public reputation, worldly ambitions, this is going to be the area of life where the spiritual and transformative energies start to play out. With the dawn of the Elder Ones, this phrase alone suggests a metaphorical dawning, if you will, or awakening of the ancient. Powerful archetypal energies within the collective consciousness, which then influences one's public life and legacy. Now, the Elder Ones awaken. The symbolic Elder Ones are not literal beings, but deep primordial forces of existence, being Pluto. They represent profound collective survival instincts and subconscious drives. Now, Neptune's spiritual and intuitive energies allow for a conscious, though subtle, connection to these buried forces within. This suggests that the individual's work or public purpose becomes a channel for ancient truths, or a new form of collective wisdom, if you will. The harmonious emergence is going to be the sextile, indicating the process is not going to be violent or chaotic. It's going to be a natural evolution that just comes, again, flowing like water. Rather than being a struggle, the individual can easily tap into and express these deeply transformative collective energies into their career. The manifestation is a dawn, suggesting a peaceful and gradual emergence of power and insight rather than an explosive upheaval. With a new paradigm in public life, the placement in the 10th house means that this spiritual awakening is tied to public standing and career. The dawn can mark the beginning of a revolutionary new era for one's legacy. With artistic vision, an artist might produce a visionary work that taps into the collective psyche and forever changes their public perception. Through this, we can go to spiritual leadership. A spiritual leader may introduce new teachings or methods that offer profound healing and transform the way public views spirituality all the way around. With an ethical legacy here, ethical being the key word, a political or business leader might use their influence to champion profound ethical reforms that permanently shift the collective values of an industry or society all the way around. It's kind of like ascending the masses, uplifting the community, raising everybody up around you. What are you doing if you're not uplifting the room? Now, beyond the ego, The dawn represents a transformation that moves beyond individual concerns towards a deeper collective purpose. The ego is transcended as the individual becomes a conduit for these ancient archetypal energies. The work or legacy created is no longer just personal ambition, but a vehicle for universal spiritual truths. That's the end of that story. I have they're not Psalms, but the first one I have is 2 Thessalonians 2, verses 7 to 8. Says, "For the secret power of lawlessness is now already at work, but the one who now holds it back will continue to do so till he is taken out of the way. And then the lawless one will be revealed, whom the Lord Jesus will overthrow with the breath of his mouth and destroy by the splendor of his coming. The Lord says, I am coming with great power to my church, so make room for me. In your structured services, I will show up in new ways that you have never seen before, but because it doesn't fit your paradigm, experience, or expectations, some will immediately reject it. It is clearly me. So by rejecting the move of my spirit, they are rejecting me altogether. And I will depart from them, for I will no longer go where I am not welcomed, nor will I contend with the people who think they can gather in my name, but without my power and presence. Jesus said, I did not come to bring peace, but a sword. Matthew 10:34. He also said, those who are not for me are against me. Matthew 12:30. That's all I have for you guys today. I'll see you in the next one.